And now we are going to discuss something very important.
Not so much.
It's pretty important.
What, wrestling?
Wrestling is important.
No, it's not.
Hey, you can't downplay a skit that we choose to put on the air. It makes us sound stupid.
Yeah, dude. Wrestling is like important.
Okay.
To a lot of people.
Yeah. Like what we just found out is that Randy Orton was suspended for 60 days. You all knew about that, did you?
I heard something about it, yes.
And nobody knew why. He finally told why in WWF Magazine, which comes out next month, that he was smoking a joint.
And
someone stooged on him.
Where was he smoking this alleged joint?
Okay, so he's sitting in the back. He's on the Raw roster. Or he's on the SmackDown roster at the time, right? Well, he's in the back, sitting amongst everybody, and pulls out some weed, rolls it up, and smokes a joint in front of everybody.
That's a terrible idea.
He wanted to get out of there. He was not happy where he was. He wanted to get off SmackDown.
You should turn that one on the computer up.
I
All the way.
don't want it too loud.
Yeah,
Turn
you
all
don't want
the
to have
way
it too loud.
Turn
And
all the way
also, Lita is leaving. along with
Lita's
Trish
leaving?
Stratus. Yeah, Lita, Trish Stratus, and Stacy Keibler are all leaving
Where are they going?
to do movies.
They can't act.
Through
They
W-
can't even act
you
on
mean-
WWE.
Through WWE Films or their own?
They're so bad.
They're no longer going to be under contract.
Really? Oh,
And
good.
Jeff Hardy signed too.
Jeff Hardy signed with WWE?
Yes.
What?
He signed with WWE.
I was hoping I would never have to see him again.
You're going to have to see him sell those ribs again. But, you can watch ECW, which is now going to have its own recording format, which means the show will be done by itself. You wanted to watch
Really?
SmackDown
When
and then ECW.
when is this going to take place?
Starting at the end of, beginning of September.
Oh, thank
September.
God.
Because did you watch the show this week on Tuesday?
Yeah.
You saw the crowd. They're in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh,
They
yeah,
have
totally.
ECW
And it had a
fans.
huge response, didn't it?
Like at the end of
Because
the
here's the problem. Sorry to interrupt, but here's the whole thing, is that ECW used to have its own set, its own feel, its own atmosphere. And now ever since WWF has brought it back as a new thing, yeah, they've turned it into a WWE program.
Yeah.
And
But the fans won't let that happen.
they won't. The real
They will-
fans.
'cause to prove this, I'll read this for you because I just found this on the dirt sheets.
Okay.
And this is after the show. Batista and the Big Show gave each other a hug, and the fans at the show started chanting "Brokeback" at them. And later, the next day on WWE.com, Batista said, "I love the ECW fans and their enthusiasm, but at the same time, I think they're always trying to come. These are a bunch of morons who have to come here and just crap all over everything they're watching. I think some of them just like to come here and treat others like crap." And I asked
Well,
myself, why don't they boo Kurt Angle? If they don't want to watch it, they don't care about the performers in the ring, and they're just coming there to just yell.
Right.
Why do they cheer for Kurt Angle and praise him like he's a god?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's because he has ability, and they
'Cause he doesn't-
respect that.
Exactly. He's not some Goldberg guy who's like, I have 3 power moves and I scream at you. They're like, we see through this. We're not
Yeah.
WWF fans.
And they proved it by putting it in the Hammerstein Ballroom, an old ECW arena that they always used, that was always around in the heart of ECW.
Yeah.
Something that the fans can appreciate. And
Yeah, I like those small arenas.
small arenas
exactly.
for
The
ECW
intimate
is
crowd,
what's necessary.
They're on them.
Right, because you're right there. You can see everything.
And so is it all based on just the fan response that they're saying, okay, we're going to start shooting this? As
I could have told them this on the first one night stand when it happened in June 11th.
Right.
I've been like, you have to not go with SmackDown because you have to. WWF fans are not usually ECW fans.
Right. It's a totally different group.
These people are smart marks.
It's true.
Their other ones are just marks.
So you think that it'll resemble the old ECW on TNN?
Well, I mean, it already kind of does. I mean, the only thing I don't like is the WWF presentation to the show. But
The
it's all
backstage
Yeah,
thing.
because kids complain, why is it this big name versus this big name? But back in the day, it was the same thing. I mean, Arn Anderson fought Terry Gordy there. I mean,
Right.
you had big names fighting in ECW back in the day, so it wasn't always Sabu versus Axel Rotten.
Right.
There's big names in this show. So I think it's good that they're just not going with, I'm going to have Sabu beat this guy with a chair.
Yeah.
I just don't want Vince writing it. And he was at the show on TV.
I saw that.
So if it's on the Mask Smark MySpace,
Yeah.
which is connected through the MySpace.
It's Paul
For the-
Heyman is walking through backstage, and in the background, far
In a
away,
blue shirt.
in a blue shirt,
Watching TV is Vince McMahon.
is Vince McMahon watching TV.
He's
eating.
officially on ECW TV. How sad is that?
And they probably saw it afterwards, and they're like, "Oh crap! I can't believe we let that slide."
That's what I'm saying.
Who knows? Who cares?
Life's life.
Cactus Jack and Ric Flair.
Oh, that was a pretty good promo.
It was. This has been building up for about a month now.
A month. This has been building up for years. Ever since he called him a glorified stunt man.
Well, ever since
Even WCW back in the early 90s.
right, they have quite a history together, and hey, both of them, they're both kind of washed up. But
One
hey,
more than the other.
right,
Rick.
Rick.
Woo!
they're finding a new thing to get into, a new thing that's going to draw attention from the fans. And for the old-style hardcore fans, seeing Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, and Cactus Jack duking it out in a hardcore match.
They're wrestling, really?
Yeah, at SummerSlam.
Yeah, they have to actually wrestle. Good luck to Mick.
Yeah.
No high spots, Mick.
No high spots. And then Ric Flair will elbow drop the canvas.
High spot.
Ric Flair, he needs to go away.
Yeah, he does. He needs to die. I said
don't
it.
know
You
what
can
die.
quote. No.
Go away.
Ric Flair needs to have a heart attack in the ring, like
Well,
he did on
yeah.
Nitro all those years ago.
That
Except
was
this
funny.
time, it's real.
What was that, 98?
October of 1998, one of the funniest things ever. I called up and said, Ric Flair's having a heart
He's doing a promo, and I thought it was real.
So did I.
I was like, he was like this.
Ho, ho, ho. And his face turned red.
He grabs the
laughed.
ropes.
He really had a heart attack?
No,
Oh.
it's a story.
But everyone thought he did.
He was pretty convincing.
That's too bad.
You know what
should've
else was
gotten that
convincing?
one
The
back.
Brian Pillman, Steve Austin gun incident. Remember that? In like, what year was that? 97?
That was 1997, the end of 97, and people
Wow.
people were so mad. I remember that was one of the first time where people were like,
Wrestling's terrible for everyone.
and they thought like the line between reality and show had been blurred. They're like, did he really get shot? Did he really go to his house?
Right.
That's compelling TV. That's why they won the war, I guess. And AOL, didn't want WCW.
It was very, very compelling. And coming up now, do we have anything else to talk about in the Smark Zone here?
No, we're gonna end this first edition of the Smark Zone.
Smark Zone
Registered trademark
of the Trunk Monkeys radio show.
and Doctors Associates Inc.
Yeah.